local headlines. Miami's Ocean Drive was transformed today into what some are describing as a public disturbance.
You ready?
You're kidding, right?
The question on everyone's mind is, who is the mob?
Now I know where Occupy Wall Street went wrong. They didn't dance enough. That's why the revolution didn't happen.
Well, maybe, you know what? For all we know, Occupy Wall Street was just one elaborate flash mob that just went on for months and months.
To be fair, if that had happened and there was like hundreds of people in synchronized hip-hop dancing, this shit would be over.
But they did more synchronized laying around.
I know. All I can think now is like, wow, those are the worst dancers ever.
Those are the laziest dancers I've ever seen.
They're moving very slowly.
Synchronized sitting.
There's a message in the way I lay around here.
Come on, you occupiers, you got to step up.
Yeah, man, that's what this movie is
And
all
put it
about.
in 3D.
Yes, that's right, man. Up in your face. That's what this movie is about, man. If you've been keeping up with the Step Up series, it's all been about fun and games and just dancing and having a good time. But playtime's over. Now it's a revolution. We have to change things.
You got to change shit. And then sell out 3 seconds later.
This movie, I thought the whole time watching this movie, I was like, man, this movie needs to be called Step Up Rises.
Yeah. It was kind of like that.
I was like, wow, did the League of Shadows start off like this? When they were a dance group?
They danced,
and then
yeah.
they became terrorists?
I was waiting for that dance number where everybody's dancing.
Well, I swear I thought I saw Bane in one of the dance numbers here. He was leading them.
He was getting down,
I
man.
am the mob.
Yeah. There were like 6 Banes dancing in one scene. I mean, man, you got that scene where they come in with gas masks and throwing canisters. And I was like,
Seriously?
Oh, yeah,
I was like,
perfect
dude,
timing.
this is bad.
I know. That's
You guys
all
should
I
cut
thought
this
about.
shit.
I would have loved to seen Batman swoop down and then look at that shit going on and just like mouth like Blade. What the fuck?
And he'd just be like, too soon, guys. Too soon.
What kind of supervillain shit is this?
Yeah.
Who am I fighting? The
that's
Gainator?
What's hilarious is like, they go like, oh, you're going to arrest us for breaking in this party and throwing gas canisters and looking like terrorists? What?
Yeah.
yeah.
No, that's what. Well, actually, in the movie, that's where they crossed the line.
Yeah, they went too far.
But they crossed the line a lot in this movie because this time, these movies have progressed. It used to just be about taking urban culture and putting a nice, handsome white face on it and selling to white people who won't have to be so scared anymore. Look, we got a handsome white guy here, and to a degree, it is still doing the same thing right here. I think they got like a kid who I thought was white, but his last name is Guzman, so I guess he's kind of...
Oh, you can tell he was Hispanic?
He's a Hispanic that looks white. Yeah.
Well,
he fooled me.
He looks like the Latino version of the guy who was the lead in the last movie.
Yeah,
They got those same lips.
Ryan Guzman is his
Guzman.
name. Yeah, you got 2 leads of Ryan Guzman and this chick that was in. She's famous for being on So You Think You Can Dance.
Yeah, she was one of the finalists.
she's one of those.
Oh, that explains a lot.
In fact, I'm pretty sure when you look down the list of people on here, you'll find most of them are from So You Think You Can Dance. or
Catherine
those
McCormick,
shows.
which explains a lot about her. But see, these movies have progressed from just being urban films to now they're just packaging everything that is currently popular in youth culture and stuffing it into one movie. If you go down the list right here, they don't even do real hip hop music anymore. It's gone to electronic and dubstep. They put in now flash mobbing is popular along with the YouTubes. As somebody said.
The YouTubes.
They even threw in like they even threw in like a videographer.
Yeah, a graffiti artist.
What do you call it? What they call it now? Street art, which is so famous.
Fans are going to love this next story. I've just seen this video, and all I can tell you is in one word, amazing. I've never seen anything like this before.
The video was posted to YouTube and has quickly gone viral, thrusting these mysterious artists into the spotlight.
Quickly becoming an internet sensation.
And before we announce the winner, have you guys seen this viral video by the mob? It's huge!
Another developing story we're following today.
And it seems to be picking up steam.
Okay, everyone is talking about this, so I have to bring it up. Who knows about the mob?
And if that's not enough, they got to throw in parkour people for the stunt work, and they just stuff it all in this one film, and they put so much in it that there's really no room for story.
It's one of those things where it's another case of too much is too much.
But see, that was the one place where it goes right for me because Corey, I got to disagree with you. this should have been less story. I mean, seriously, who gives a fuck about the story to this movie? Was there any moment of it that you found gripping in a dramatic fashion?
No, because that is the one major problem is that you realize, wow, this is so stupid. Like stupid is spelled wrong because I mean, it really is. It's like they take the bare bones of a story involving a chick who wants to piss off her dad because he's the big evil. He is the bad guy in the movie. He's the guy who's going to develop, and he's the guy who's going to destroy the rec center.
Well,
pretty much.
Yeah, that's what these movies do. They bring in when there's no in every dance movie when the dancing is the star, they have no story for it. The old standby is, let's bring in the big bad land developer, played by Peter Gallagher right here, and everybody has to get together, as you say. This is a popular phrase, not from dance movies, from Breaking especially.
Oh, yeah.
Save the rec center.
Save the rec center.
In this case, it's Save the Slums, which looks like this is the Disney-fied version of slums. But the happiest place on earth.
It's like on our trip to Miami, I was like, I would have loved to have gone to visit a place like this and would have felt completely safe there.
Yeah. The thing, though, is not just that, though. It crosses the other dance movie generic plot number B, which is, you know what, you're never going to get to achieve your dreams, so you have until this time, and then you got to go work for some shitty job.
Yeah, exactly.
You got two of those stories. The guy and the girl in this movie have that shit hanging in their head.
Well, the biggest one is where there's not so much. Well, the biggest one is where I noticed, like, wow, they managed to create a love triangle, but not one that you think would be in the typical sense of it. It's like this chick that they introduce is, not only is she like, falling for this guy who is the leader of this mob, but she's also fucking up this guy's bromance that he has with this other buddy of his who helped start it out. And it's funny seeing this guy like go, bitch, he was mine first.
Yeah, it is a scene like that. She ruined everything.
Yeah.
That guy has some unresolved issues.
I know. I was like, wait, you know what? They're going this far with modernizing this. Why don't they just go ahead and take it to that level and have him come out? Because I was like, man, this is shades of the second Fast and the Furious movie where it's like, God, this guy's clearly gay. Stop quote unquote dancing around the issue.
It's funny you said that, because when I'm watching this, I'm thinking, why can't somebody inject something at least mildly new and different into these plots, or cross it over with another genre? I'm like, Fast and the Furious, that's just it.
Yeah.
They send in, so the FBI finds out there's this dance flash mob crew, right? That's doing mobs but robbing banks while they're doing it. So they send in an undercover young dancer, like a badass, to infiltrate them.
That's what this was. That's what we need.
That's the next movie.
Wow.
10,000 years in the future, a lone spaceship of the last humanity orbiting Earth, and there's no humor or love left anymore because people have forgotten how to dance. Until one young boy rediscovers the ancient art.
Calm down.
Cyrus. We got to say that for Step Up 6.
You're giving shit too. You're giving it away easy. Yeah.
I'm just saying I can't take another one of these with these stupid plots.
You know what? They hadn't stopped them yet. I mean, I don't even think these things make a whole lot of money, but they've created a franchise. I mean, they're going to keep on stepping. They're going to stop that.
They're not stepping down. That's for sure.
But what's sad about this is that what you were just describing, like, as far as bringing in more elements. I mean, you're already getting crazy with the dance moves where the shit is going out in the streets. You're trying to convince us of this fucking Earth 2, where these dances that happen have an effect, have like a real major effect on not just the people involved, but society. It's like everyone. CNN's talking about this shit. You have people going, we don't know who these people are, but it's creating such an uproar and effect that people are either loving it or they hate it. And it's like, is this really affecting society?
That's why it's really that dumb, because you see what happens here is that this is pretty much the Mission Impossible of the dance movies. These people go in and they infiltrate society in ways, incognito. They do things like they come in inconspicuous cars down the road, or they hide in a museum dressed up like exhibits, and they dress up like businessmen in the business center, and all of a sudden they break out and dance. And this is where it gets dumb, and this is where they really don't care about story, because they do shit like they dance on people's cars. I mean, on that strip with the kind of cars if you dance on somebody's hood, you're gonna get shot.
Especially in Miami.
Yeah, especially Miami. I mean, if you're dancing in this business district or a museum, you're gonna get arrested. I mean, that's the bottom line. But no, in this world, the dancing is so entrancing that even the security guards and cops have to just wait until the dance is over. Like, oh yeah, I was supposed to do my job.
I kind of believe that. I mean, they put on a spectacle, a show. You stand around, you're like, all right, it's basically harmless. I'm gonna watch this. The thing that got me though, it's like they want to do this so they can win money, and yet I was counting. They spent about $120,000 on all these costumes and props and lighting and special effects. I'm like, guys, you want to save your neighborhood? Save your fucking money.
There's even a dance scene that they drop $100 bills on the crowd.
Yes.
All I thought
in 3D, so you get a close look at those really odd Benjamins.
Yeah. All I thought is like, are these trust fund kids? I mean, really? I mean, because wow, they're really not doing anything. If they have jobs, which is the other funny thing about this movie, it seems like every time they infiltrate somebody, there's that one guy who's managed to like actually work for the establishment that they're going to screw. It's like, wow, how many applications a day does this guy send out to do? I was like, wow, you talk about like really working your ass off.
I would love that way. It's like, man, you were supposed to trip the lights. I know, dog, but I'm getting benefits and 2 weeks vacation. I can't get this up.
That's the deal, man. I mean, okay, but when they drop the money, I know it's not real money that they dropped. I mean, but nevertheless.
Looked like real money.
Yeah,
it was people grabbing it going,
No, the people weren't grabbing it. It wasn't real. It was paper money they had made and shit. It was part of the props they had. But that's the thing, though.
That ain't cheap, though.
But none of this is cheap. These are kids. They said in the movies, we have to save the slums. We are poor. We got no place to go. But every production they put on, it's like Cirque du Soleil or something like
Cirque du Soleil.
Cirque or whatever it is. A big fucking production. Okay,
you say that like it's the bad part of this movie, and I say thank God that this universe is so absurd and ridiculous. Like that's the only thing that makes these movies fun at all is that it is. They're like, come on, does anyone really paying attention to whether or not this is plausible?
The fact they put on a Cirque du Soleil in an afternoon. It's like, all right, I'm going to show them, come here, guys, get in the huddle. This is what we're going to do. And you see something that would take months to put together.
The big fun, the finale alone, they're like, I mean, there's like a couple hundred different dancers, all with super elaborate routines and props and explosions, and they put that shit together in a day.
They're like, we got 12 hours to get our act together.
They get on the phone. Hey, dog, I got something popping. Can you get down here? Sure, I'm in Boston, and you're several hundred miles away, but I'll hop on a plane and fly down there.
I just keep thinking about that whole Spider-Man production that they did in Hollywood where people were like dying every day on that set trying to get that organized. You have trained professionals.
They just hire these kids, clearly.
But you know, with all that said, I mean, the problem I had is that as much as those ridiculous scenes, like I was hoping those scenes would take me away from the stupid plot. And unfortunately, they didn't. Because this is the first movie where I noticed, man, you know, there's a lot of shit going on, but the thing is, the camera work, whoever's directing this isn't directing it right. It's like there's so many missed opportunities with the dance numbers to where they just don't make them pop like the last two movies did.
You know, I was just going to say that because somebody would listen to this and go like, well, of course you hated a Step Up movie. You guys don't get it. But the thing was, the third one, I actually liked that one kind of a lot. It's
like it a lot.
Like the dancing was so impressive. You know, the dumb story and everything, I just kind of forgot about it. It went to the background. It's like, you know what? These dance numbers impressing the shit out of me.
Well, that's the thing. That dance number at the end of that movie, I mean, me watching it, especially, that was in 3D.
Yeah, exactly.
They used every opportunity to make that 3D work for that dance number, and that scene alone raised the bar. I mean, it really raised the bar on what to expect. So when I saw the trailer for this, I was really super pumped. I'm like, okay, wow, this is everything I saw in that last dance number. That's what I'm going to get because where else can you go with this?
Well, but like as you said, the problem is really how it's put together. Conceptually, I think the hearts are in the right place with this one.
Sure, we'll expand it by adding more art forms.
Well, yeah, in the sense that 3 kind of brought it up from like, well, fuck it, let's just be absurd and set up big conceptual dance pieces because who cares? Let's just make it look neat, and that worked. But it was also filmed so you could tell how good dancers these people were. The guy who directed that, which was John Chu, he knew how to show that.
He really did.
It really worked. But here, he stepped back into the role of producer, and he's handed over to a new guy, Scott Spear, who was just previously a music video director who's worked on, I think it was like one of the girls from High School Musical, her video career. He's
got the big brain on Cyrus.
That says a lot. I know you've been doing your homework, huh, kid?
But the thing is,
he's good at Wikipedia. But no, of course, that's what we all do, man.
Right? You know, he edits it together. that's so choppy and it's such a mess that I could not tell what was happening in a lot of the dance routines. I'm admiring the look of it. I'm admiring the concept behind it, but it didn't flow very organically. There was only 2 of the sequences that really worked at all for me, and that was there's one that's in an art museum where they become pieces of art that come alive, and even that's not edited great, but it's conceptually so neat. I was like, points, that looks cool. And then I thought they really did do a good job with the whole final big dance.
Yeah, I did too. With the final dance number, I was like, there was a point where I was like, all right, now they pulled it out, it's working. But it kind of just went on for so long.
No, I enjoyed it.
There's the magic of it for me.
See, I didn't see the last movie. I wish you had. I don't even think I've seen the second Step Up.
I hadn't seen the first 2.
You did.
I did.
Because you interrupted my review when we were talking about it.
Oh, wait a minute. Is that? Is that in the video? Was that Step Up too?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that one. Oh, that's right. I did see the second one, but the last one I didn't see for sure because I remember you guys telling me about it. So I guess having not seen those, I haven't seen the progression because the last one that I saw, I guess maybe I'll remember the second one because it seemed so much like the first one. This is where I thought, okay, yeah, there's a lot of. They know this. This is a fantasy world they've created. They know that. They just want to. They want to showcase the dancing. And I thought, okay, so how these movies are going to progress if they really want to turn this into a franchise? And they've gone from just street dancing, impressive street dancing, to actual artistic direction for these numbers now. I mean, that, like you mentioned, that scene in the museum and the scene at the end, everything. Yeah, they're incorporating a lot of youth culture in here, but it seems like they're doing it creatively. I mean, I agree with you completely that I have no problem with those dance numbers being as ridiculous as. I have no problem with this movie being as stupid as it is, except for I don't think I got enough dancing.
Yeah, that's the other big problem with this one, because the last one was almost incessant. It was just one dance scene after another.
It was, and they would even switch styles. You had like a Gene Kelly dance number in the middle of
and a Xanadu dance sequence. Yeah, and there was all kinds of crazy shit. You're like, what in the fuck is going on in this world?
But it's like, but it's like much as I want to laugh at. It's like, wow, it's really nice.
But the thing is, no one cared about the plot. It knew that no one cared.
No. Well, the thing is, there's too much of it. There's too much of that plot. There's too much of this relationship between these two actors that they found at the Abercrombie and Finch, right. To portray these characters where you just their stories are so generic,
so much less
and so cliche that when they do appear, it drags the movie down to where I felt like people were fucking dancing on my brain.
From being bored or falling asleep was that it was just so silly. I kept laughing at it.
Yeah, well, that was the thing. Like, at least you had that to a certain extent. But even the last film did that part better.
Yeah, you're right. That's true.
It made it where even the actors are practically looking at the camera and going, "Oh, Jesus Christ! I really have to say this."
It had more of that story that you would make for a High School Musical. True. That's the thing.
Yeah, that and like I said, every other dance movie that we've seen, and as silly as this movie is, and as much as I want to dismiss all of it, and I dismiss a lot of it, probably more than it deserves to be dismissed. Even some things it gets so ridiculous, I can't let go. This crack commando team of dancers that they had this flash mob called, creatively enough, the mob. But they all they're so great at what they do. I'm thinking, you fight for the slums, but each one of you motherfuckers could have a job. Yeah. I mean, you could be working for ILM, or Google or something. I mean, the guy who's like, they say this guy, they say, man, our head guy here, he's like the Mark Zuckerberg of the mob. I'm like, well, motherfucker, go get a job at Facebook. I mean, why you doing this shit?
Well, sorry, she was talking about how it's listed as Peter Gallagher as the main antagonist, which, poor Peter Gallagher, he just looked like he lost a bet to be in this movie. But I was like, you know what? He's not your enemy. You guys are your own worst enemy because you set your standards so low. You could be taking these skills and doing something with it, or using this money for control your resources better. But I'm having trouble buying into this. Well, this is just dumb.
Because they're dancing in the goddamn street every day. I mean, that's what they do. That is all they're about.
And the other thing is, this movie wants to be so youth oriented. I mean, of course it does. That's what the movie's meant for. I mean, we're not a bunch of old guys saying, "Bro, we don't understand this film." No, but it's just it's trying so hard that it's almost too rebellious sometimes. I mean, besides going up against the big land developer, I mean, there's some things that just. I mean, if you fucked up, you fucked up. They got one scene where Peter Gallagher he's in his office, and rightfully so. He's like, look, if you do your job and do right by me, I will do right by you. The leader of the flash mob comes in. He got his shirt all tucked out. Everything is wrinkled.
He walks in late.
Yeah, and Peter Gallagher, he looks at me and says, young man, I called for this meeting for everybody to be here an hour ago. He's like, and the guy doesn't even say I'm sorry. He's like, yo, man, look, I'm just 20 minutes late. So what, man? And the guy's like, well, you don't work here anymore. I was like, what? And everybody, and the whole cast was looking like, how can he fire him?
I know.
And it's like, he's fucking late. Yeah, he got fired.
The funniest part.
He's like, yo, punctuality, man, fuck you, I'm out of here, man. That ain't cool.
Man, the funniest part, though, the
whole year.
the funniest part, the capper of that whole joke was that when they find out, when they discover who is actually going to tear down their home, that's the same guy that fired my ass.
Yeah.
What a jerk.
Yeah, and that's what was so funny about it. You know, I invested a whole year in that minimum wage paying job. Yo,
Yeah,
man.
I go, a whole year?
Yeah. And it's like, man, you fucked up, all right? I mean, and the other thing, college ain't cool. Dad, I went to college because you wanted me to go to college. I don't want to learn nothing. That ain't cool.
I don't care if you paid $40,000 for my tuition.
Yeah.
You made me do that
I
shit.
have to dance. You don't understand.
Like, man, rebellion is one thing, but just plain fucking, stupid.
I mean, they could have had a Taco Bell fucking, go in there and go, hey, we're tearing down this bar that all you guys hang out and drink for free at.
Right.
We're going to tear this down and put a Taco Bell there. Like, what? No.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Well, also, the original premise is like, look, if we get the most hits, YouTube is going to pay us $1 million. I'm like,
it's not even $1 million. It's 100,000.
100,000. Well, they spent that much on costumes. But 100,000. I'm like, man, I'm sorry, but YouTube don't give a shit about you.
Exactly. There's no such contest.
Motherfucker, you better get
And the
good-
fact that you could beat Dubstep Kitty, I don't think so.
That's who they had to beat. And I thought that was actually a good joke in the movie.
was a good
I know
joke.
where they had to beat, Dubstep Kitty. And I'm thinking, man, you better get Google ads on your shit because YouTube ain't gonna pay nobody $100,000 to do shit.
Well, I kept thinking, man, no wonder we're not fucking getting our hits on YouTube. We're doing it wrong.
We got to do a spill flash mob.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just Spill Flash animation is going to have to do. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because I'm not dancing anywhere.
Oh, don't worry, you'll be dancing.
You could be the cat.
We'll make you dance.
I'll be the cat. That's true. I can dubstep.
Yeah, let's try that. We'll get our ass beat in a minute.
I know.
I mean,
We come in trying to do that. The cops just come beat the shit out.
They're trying to dance and shit.
Yeah, that's the one element that this movie needed. This movie, besides the one bad guy, this movie had to have something else like police. I mean, because they're never seen. I mean,
They are, but then they dance.
No spoilers now. No spoilers. But I mean, the
they
thing
shouldn't
is,
talk about it. Like, you guys going to get arrested. You better stop that before you get caught. You don't want to get arrested doing this. I'm like, get arrested from who?
I know you never see the cops. You never see Commissioner Gordon go, oh, where the hell are they?
No, the cops are there. Cyrus is right. They're dancing. I don't even think they were part of the flash mob at first. They just got wrapped up in it. Oh shit, man, I like this.
This is awesome. Yeah, even the mayor in that scene's like, this is badass.
I've always wanted to be the policeman of the village people. Come on, let's get it. Oh man, I'm criticizing this movie a lot, and I think I'm criticizing in ways where the movie doesn't even give a shit. I mean, the movie knows. Like I said, my biggest criticism is one of those movies where, fuck, man, what do you want me to say? If this movie's giving dance to the people that want to see it, that's fine. That's what I want. My only criticism is that they just didn't give me a lot. Like I said before, I don't even know where to go with this film. I mean, on the one, I didn't see the last one, and I thought that those dance numbers were so great that I want to give it a really low matinee. But at the same time, it looks like it's just, if you're not going to worry about the story, then don't try to. Don't put like 3 dance numbers in there and leave the rest up to a plot that you don't give a shit about. So I don't know, man. I guess I'll give this a really. I myself am going to give this a really high rental. I did enjoy it. I thought even when it was bad, it was somehow. I wouldn't even be surprised if they brought in that storyline of the land developer and Let's Save the Rec Center as even a throwback to those Breaking movies. I wouldn't be surprised if they knew what they were doing with that. I'm going to give it a really high matinee. I like this a lot, but. I'm sorry, a really high rental.
Okay, I was about to say.
I give this a really high rental. I enjoyed this a lot. But if somebody went to see this, if you got dragged into it and you paid a matinee price to see this in the afternoon, I don't think you're going to walk out angry at all.
You know what? This ain't hard for me because it sounds like everything that you want to see is what's in the third movie. Because it is one where it has that kind of generic plot, but you know what? They don't spend a lot of time on it, and there's dancing, and it's all. Most of it's impressive. The last 2 or 3 numbers knock your socks off, and you just fall in love with it. And like Cole said, I came to this wanting to have that experience again, and instead I'm like, well, I give you a point for being ambitious and saying like, hey, we got to expand this by adding these other art forms, but all I really did was take away. And the dance numbers, they'd be impressive for a little while, but then there'd be all this other stuff that just kind of diluted it, and the story and the acting. You know what? The dancing was so unimpressive that it made me focus on the story and the acting and go like, wow, I kind of just want this.
You thought the dancing was unimpressive? Really?
Some of it, you know what? Look, let me put it this way: it's impressive on a level like, wow, I can't do that shit. But but the last movie, you know, after seeing that, you know, you want things to get better. You can't like step back from that. It's like, well, I already seen the best, and you guys, you know, this is nice and all, but you kind of wasted my time. For me, it's just a straight up rental. There's no high or low.
You're right. This is step back revolution.
Yeah, thank you.
You said that. Every word you said, Leon, literally. I mean, I agree with everything you just said. I think that the biggest problem isn't so much these people can't dance. It's that the camera never gives us a chance to show that they can. It's the same problem I have when I watch martial arts films that are filmed real close, and you just go, okay, I could do that fight scene because it's just a bunch of flurry of arms and legs that are edited together later. I guess this new director just doesn't trust his dancers enough to just do what they do, and his choreographers to show what they can do, like happened in the third movie. And it's unfortunate because there's clearly a lot of inspiration here. There are moments you're like, those are some great moves. These are really talented people. I want to see more. But then, you start to get bored after a bit, and because it doesn't let you have those moments, you want to put something in the plot to be worth watching, and it really isn't. Oh man, such a shame. I mean, I wish they had learned from the way people were reacting to the third one about like, this is what you're doing right. Stick to, you're on the right path now. Keep going that way. And like you said, ambitious, yes, but the technical stuff they just stepped backwards on. So I'm gonna give it with Corey. I'm gonna give it a high rental. I think it is still fun,
my man,
and you'll probably enjoy it more if you hadn't seen the third one.
Okay, true.
To be sure, but let's hope they pay attention to us.
Yeah. Before you go there, I know why I'm also probably bringing this down a grade too, because you're focusing on your two leads, which are they're your love interests. What's her name? Catherine McCormick and this guy.
Was it Adam Guzman or Ryan Guzman?
Ryan Guzman and Catherine, whatever her name, McCormick.
That's hard to pronounce, McCormick.
Yes.
I'm gonna be here all night.
I fuck up names so much now. I fuck up just easy name.
Corey, you need to step up those names.
How do you say this guy's name? Joe? Yeah, that's it. No, those two leads, the guy Ryan Guzman, he's all right. He's a good-looking kid. He's passable. He's nothing great, but he's good. But that girl, man, she's
really generic.
She's bad.
Oh, she's bad. And the girl who played his sister was even worse.
Well, it's to make it even worse. Like the girl in the last movie was so charismatic and likable. She was so talented, and then you like just dilute the shit out of that and give us this Disney dancer. I'm like, all right, whatever.
Well, I'm really glad you guys just had that conversation because that just made my fucking rating go down a notch from a rental to some old bullshit. Because you know what the thing is, everything you said, Leon, you pretty much summed up what I wanted to say. But I will go further and tell you, don't worry, it wasn't you. Those dance numbers were shitty and they were boring, especially when they don't use the whole 3D aspect of it, which that is the biggest loss of this film. As much as they did with that last one, like I said, it raised the bar. They didn't get an inch near what they had with that last film, and it's a shame. I thought this dancing was sloppy because, you know what? Sure, they may be talented, but their talent didn't come across because the camera wouldn't allow it. And I hate when, the only thing I can remember from those dances is when they start playing with their fingers like they got fucking snot stuck between them, and I'm just like looking at that like, okay, you just getting electrocuted by a defibrillator or something? What the fuck is going on? The dance number in Return of the Living Dead Part 2 was far more impressive.
Let's not get carried away.
It was far more impressive than what I saw in this movie. Like, this movie was just a wasted opportunity, especially when you had such a really cool trailer to where, it is really whetting your appetite. And unfortunately, you don't get any of that in this movie. And also because of that story. That story is fucking dumb, and dumber. And you can't ignore that. You really can't. As much as you don't want that stink to permeate, it does. And, and this is just some old bullshit to me. I'm sorry.
It's funny because with that story, like, it ends in such a way where I'm like, the only way to save this is for this guy to be waking up and going like, oh, wow, I had this really bad dream. But luckily everything worked out way way perfectly.
No, it would have worked better if that fucking dubstep cat or keyboard cat or whatever woke up and like thinking this was the ultimate nightmare for him when his video gets knocked down a notch on YouTube. That would have been far more. This would have been a full price for me if that was the ending.
Yeah. A bunch of you mean a flash mob of fucking dumbass dancers knocked my video out?
Yeah, that cat waking up going meow.
Cat gets out there and just fucking shuts the place down. God damn, did you see that cat? Fuck the mob.
We need to stop him. Enough with performance art. It's time for protest art. We can change things.